Good morning. My name is James Bushman, and I'm the head of school for University High School. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to what we still hope will be the future site of University High School. Let me first recognize our distinguished guests here today. Please recognize Mr. Al Smith, the President and CEO of Greater Fresno Area Chamber of Commerce. Danny Curtin, the Director of California Conference of Carpenters. And, of course, our Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, 10 years ago, Luis Costa, the Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities here at Fresno State, conceived of a small college prep charter school that would reside here on our beloved Fresno State. Many people in the community were engaged to help develop the curriculum, and now 10 years later, we serve 400 students. We are open to all, and for students who persevere and graduate with us, they leave with a semester, if not an entire year of college work already completed, and their credentials to apply to any college in the country. But although we have been very happy with the success of our program, we have long sought a permanent building so we can truly actualize the vision of our founders. Long ago, we were told we would receive money from the Charter School Facilities Program, and after many years of struggling to build our school, we were finally approved by the State Allocation Board on December 10th, only to be told our money would be delayed. We are currently soliciting a contractor, have already invested many dollars, and had hoped to break ground by February 1st on the school long promised to our students. Now it appears that will not happen. I have great respect for our elected officials, but it is hard to explain to our students why our legislature has been unable to resolve the current budget impasse. For the last 2 years, our school has been ranked by U.S. News and World Report as one of the top-ranked schools in the entire country. Yet our students learn in a deteriorating collection of portable buildings. Legislatures, please restore our faith in our democratic process and pass a responsible budget for the state of California. It is now my pleasure to introduce a man I greatly respect and admire, the Governor of California, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. And it is wonderful to see so many people out here today. Hello, good morning, everybody. It's great to see all of you. And I, of course, always love to come to Fresno. I want to say thank you also not only to Dr. Bushman, but also to Al Smith for being here today from the Fresno Area Chamber of Commerce. And then Secretary Rosario Moran is on her way. She will be here maybe very soon, but she's not here right now, but she's a terrific secretary. And then, of course, Danny Curtin. It's always great to travel around and talk about infrastructure.
I love it.
Exactly. So we love that. So it's great to have you all here. Now, today I am here to talk a little bit about the devastating consequences that the legislators' failure to take real and comprehensive action to solve our budget crisis. 2 days ago, the board that manages our state bank account has pulled the plug on $3.8 billion of infrastructure loans. Now, this means that 2,000 projects valued at more than $16 billion are now in jeopardy. Everything from high schools to levees, housing, hospitals, and schools, everything is going to be in terrible jeopardy because of that. Now, that doesn't only mean the projects, but also that means that a lot of people will be losing their jobs. And Danny Curtin is going to come up here and talk a little bit about that, because we have been traveling up and down the state the whole year talking about the importance of rebuilding California, rebuilding our schools, housing, bridges, on-ramps and off-ramps, and how valuable it is to our economy and to the job creation. So Danny is going to address that issue. Now, here in Fresno, the interesting thing is here we have the University High School. That is an extraordinary school that makes such unbelievable contributions to the city and to our state. One of the top schools in the state, and as you have heard, that U.S. News and World Report named it as one of the top charter schools in the country. So they have done everything that they could to contribute. But here, look at this property right behind us here. They just secured $18 million in bond money, and then they were told a few days later, oops, hold on, don't make any moves, you can't build. just because of the legislators' inaction. And the sad story here is it does not only hurt the students in the school, but it hurts our economy and it hurts the city of Fresno. Statewide, the losses of those loans could cost tens of thousands, even 100,000 jobs, driving California even deeper into a fiscal abyss. Today, we found out that California's unemployment rate went up to 8.4%. This is the highest in decades. Our workers are crying out for help. Our economy is crying out for relief. The legislators were sent to Sacramento to do their job and to solve problems. Instead, they're creating more problems. Instead, they're making a terrible situation even worse. For weeks and weeks, the legislators postured and they played political games while the deficit grew bigger and bigger. Now, I put out a clock so that people, when they go by, can see second by second of how much money they're wasting right now. And let me tell you something, it's $22,000 a minute, it is $1.3 million an hour, it is $40 million a day, and it is $1 billion every month when they create this kind of inaction, when they don't do anything. So it's a sad story. And yesterday, they passed legislation with a whole bunch of high taxes to punish you. As if they didn't do anything wrong. You did something wrong. Oh, no. But they passed a whole bunch of legislation of high taxes, but no real spending cuts, no real job package, and no real plan to keep the people in their homes. That is what is so sad here. Even in the midst of the greatest economic crisis since the Great Depression, as we free fall towards a fiscal Armageddon, the legislators still can't cross the special interests and do what is right for the state of California. We need to create and protect our jobs rather than destroy those jobs. We need a bold and courageous action from the legislature now. So I will be vetoing those tax and special interest proposals they're going to send down to me and ask them to continue working with us to get this done before Christmas. We got to resolve this crisis before Christmas. Our people in our economy deserve better because we have a great state. We are in the best place in the world, and we want to keep this the golden state. Thank you very much, and now I would like to introduce a great man here, Al Smith. And Secretary Moran is here now, coming in here. I just announced it, but I knew that you got stuck in traffic because we don't have enough traffic infrastructure. That's what this is all about. Good to see you. Please. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Governor. It's my pleasure to be with you this morning, representing, we think, the business community of this area and probably small business from throughout the state. Every day I hear at the chamber people coming in. In fact, 2 of them came in yesterday who said, I just announced that my company will be closing and my job will be gone as of today. That's 2 just yesterday. The economic impact of what's going on in this community and in the state from a lack of a budget is paralyzing everything. Not only the public works that we're talking about today, but the ripple effect from that has people who are employed with infrastructure jobs, spending money at retailers, and it goes on and on and on. So this ripple effect is impacting this entire state. Meanwhile, the legislature plays games, as the governor just indicated, in trying to posture how to get this resolved. We want to applaud the governor for his leadership in this. We want to urge the legislature to get off the dime, understand that what they're doing is having a negative impact, and let's get something done up in Sacramento that will get these people back to work and restore this economy. So thank you very much, Governor.
Thank you.
Now let me introduce to you the Secretary of State and Consumer Services, Rosario Marin.
Thank you. Thank you, Al. Under my jurisdiction, the Office of Public School Construction works very, very hard to ensure that the voter-approved Proposition 1D, certainly that you, Governor, campaigned so hard for, Proposition 47 and Proposition 55's funding is allocated to worthy, solid projects. This school embodies the values we look for at the Office of Public School Construction. This community found a need and filled it with this amazing charter school, the little charter school that could. And that is why we were really ecstatic to announce the allocation of $18 million to University High School just last week. Sadly, politicians over 100 miles away in Sacramento is holding and is preventing, actually, that check from being written over to you guys so that you can start with your new facility. I was the former treasurer of the United States. I am the former treasurer of the United States, and I know a thing or two about what money can do. And I know that this school deserves more than partisan gridlock. It deserves the state funding it fought for and rightfully won. Dr. Bushman? Here. I don't know, where are we? You should be commended for your heartfelt love for all of the children that will be coming to this school. You've done everything right, but the people in Sacramento are playing a partisan game and hurting the very people that they are supposed to protect and serve. I commend you for being selected for this amazing grant, and I stand with you and these fine people today to urge the legislature to get to the governor the budget that he can sign so that you and your team can start buildings and so that the children in Fresno can have a much better future. Thank you so very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my friend and the hardworking guy, Danny Curtin.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. Secretary, it's nice to meet you. Well, thank you very much, Governor. You know, it really has been a joy to go around the state working on the politics of infrastructure with the governor. The passage of the bond several years back was historic. It was the largest bond package in the history of California to build roads, to build schools, to build hospitals, to fix the levees. But those bonds and that building program is predicated on bonds. And if you can't sell bonds, you don't have a building program. And essentially what you're seeing here is a building program sitting waiting for the bonds to be sold and the money from those bonds to move into action. You look at these students here. If we get this thing done, some of them are going to be in that building when it's done. If we don't get it going now, they'll be getting out of college and they'll still wonder what happened to that high school. We are in an economic crisis, and that's the critical element here. It's not a simple thing. I wish it was, and I know the governor has been working very hard on getting the legislature to focus. But it's a California crisis, it's a national crisis, and it's an international crisis. It's a financial crisis that is now impacting us in a way that we haven't seen, certainly in my lifetime, maybe back as far as the Great Depression. It has frozen the funds that we use to build California. That means the people I represent, their jobs. It's hurting people all over the state of California. People all over are hurting. Senior citizens are looking at their pension funds declining rapidly as they sit there trying to live on those. Young parents are looking at school facilities that aren't being built. Working people are being laid off. I was driving down today. The United Auto Workers are giving pay cuts back so that they can keep their companies alive. Everywhere across the economy, people are hurting, and we have a problem in California, and nobody seems to be able to solve it. The legislature needs to get back in action, and I want to say this about the state legislature. They're not bad people. They're smart people. They're hardworking people. They're good people. But they have ideas, and they believe in them strongly, and under normal times, I would say, let those ideas clash and let's come up with some solutions. But we are in a crisis now. It's not normal politics, and you can't walk in. You know, when you negotiate a contract and a collective bargaining agreement, you can't have one side say, we're going to negotiate everything except wages, for instance. That's not a negotiation. Everything has to be on the table. And I know the governor has said we cannot raise taxes over the years. He has held that line as firmly as possible. Even the governor has seen the wisdom of the fact that we have to have some revenues. But when half of the negotiating team says, we're not doing taxes, we don't care what's going on in the state of California, we just want to cut our way out of this problem, it's not going to work. And I'm not blaming one side or the other side. Both sides have to leave their ideological baggage at the door, sit down, find the fairest compromise possible, and move this package out and get a budget. Because if we don't get a budget, those bond funds will never get released. And I want to emphasize fair. There is no good answer here to the budget. There will be pain for everyone. The key is that everybody has to share in the problem. One sector can't just make out fine, no new taxes, or we're going to be fine, or all cuts or not all cuts. Everybody has to share the pain. People are feeling it now. There are going to have to be some revenues. The governor has put out a balanced plan. There have been other discussions. They need to get back to the table. All I can say is this. They're not bad people. They're smart people. Put the pressure. Tell them to get back there, get an answer, leave. Put everything on the table, leave all your baggage aside, because our future is standing right behind us, and it's waiting to see what we're going to do. And right now, if this continues, we're not in bad shape now compared to how it's going to be in 2 or 3 months. There will be no money left for basic running of the government. So we need the people of California to go back and say, both sides, get back there and negotiate, come up with a solution, get something we can work on. I'll tell you, there's another project right over here on the highway that was in the so-called stimulus package that we need it. We need people to get to work. It's not going to happen. So I want to thank the governor for the veto message. Let's get out there, let's get back, and let's do the job. And I'm going to bring them back up here for questions because we need it. We need jobs, and we need to get this economy rolling again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Governor.
Great labor leader. He's the leader of the carpenters. And has been a great, great partner because it's one of those things, they always say that, Republicans, they fight labor and Republicans don't get along. You know something? It doesn't work like that. We want to make sure that they have jobs. We want to make sure that all the carpenters are employed in California. And it is the only way they can do that is if we have a good budget and if the legislators, Democrats and Republicans, get together and compromise. No one can get just their will. It doesn't work that way. Even in my marriage, let me tell you, I can tell you all about compromise. That's the only way it works. And so the same way is with the legislature. There's 120 different brains there and minds and different ways of thinking. But you got to come together and think only of one thing, and that is what is the best for the people, not what is best for me. We are irrelevant. The people of California and the state is what is relevant here. So if you have any questions of the journalists out there, please feel free. We have a mic. We are very high-tech today.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Good morning. Some of your critics have portrayed your decision to veto this budget as being based on the fact that it does not contain some labor and environmental rollbacks you had sought, rather than being due to fiscal concerns. I wonder if you can respond to that.
As I've said earlier, I think it is very important that we have a comprehensive solution to the budget, which is 4 parts. One of them is that we have the budget itself, spending cuts, and also revenue increases. Second of all, it is important that we have the economic stimulus package, which is extremely important in all of that, which they have not done. And third, it's important that we look inside into government. And before we start asking people for extra revenues or making cuts in their programs which affect each and every one of the people in California, we should make government run more efficiently. And they have not done that either. And what is also important is that we keep people in their homes. If we have a package and we have made a proposal to give the people a 90-day grace period. So there's a lot of people right now that are worried that even before Christmas they have to leave their home because of foreclosure. So I have asked the legislators, please pass this bill so we can keep people in their homes. It's the simplest thing to ask the legislators, and they failed even with that. So this is a 4-legged stool. We got to create this. They have failed on all of those things. The only thing that did really well is to increase taxes. That's what they were all about. And I said, no way we will do that. You go and show me the cuts, the equal amount of cuts as we increase the revenues. Then if you bring me the economic stimulus package, because none of that will work if we don't stimulate the economy. We should not have people lose their jobs now. We should create 200,000 jobs now. That's what I ask them to do, to have an economic stimulus package so that we go and stimulate the economy by going to get the infrastructure done, push out billions of dollars to create jobs, and get rid of some of those regulations that are holding us up. We don't need jobs in 2 years from now. We need the jobs right now. That's why I said, let's go and suspend some of those regulations and get the people to work right now. Any other question, please? Thank you very. Oh,
Sorry.
Another one.
Another one.
Man, you're very active.
I'll speak up, sure. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Wondering if you're planning to call the legislators back into a special session.
Yes.
How you see this as getting done. So when would the special session begin?
Immediately today. I'm going to sign, exactly. I will sign an executive order, and we'll call them in again for a special session, an fiscal emergency session, to continue working on this problem, because I believe that we can solve this before Christmas. I hope that the legislature stays in the building. I hope they continue negotiating, Democrats and Republicans. This is not just Democrats negotiating with the governor. It should be Democrats and Republicans be on it at the table and negotiate this and really come up with great compromises and give the people of California a great Christmas gift. Give them a good budget, give them an economic stimulus package, and give them legislation that keeps the people in their homes that are now threatened because of foreclosure and all of this. And let's find a way of making state government run more efficiently. We know, they know, the Republicans know, the Democrats know that there's billions and billions of dollars that we can save if we look inside. We shouldn't just look outside. What can the people do for us? But what can we do inside? We all know that the legislature was not even capable of making the reductions this last year of 10% in their own staff and in their own upstairs with the legislature. They couldn't do that. So, I mean, I think to ask the people to sacrifice and for them not to sacrifice at all and for them to collect hundreds of thousands of per diem dollars and also their salary, everything just goes on and on, their health care and everything, and everyone else has to suffer is not really right. And I think that we should really do everything. And I ask the people of California. They have been my true partners to put the pressure on the legislators. Email them, call them, send them cards, really bombard them and just let them know we send you there to do the right thing, to do the thing that is right for the state of California. Thank you very much, and you all have a good day and a good Christmas. Merry Christmas, all of you. Thank you.